an act for establishing the market in the town of Newark, and for regulating the same. Whereas the Honorable William Denny, Esquire, Lieutenant Governor of the counties of Newcastle, Kent, and Sussex, upon Delaware, and Province of Pennsylvania, by letters patent, under the great seal of the said counties, bearing date the 13th day of April in the year of our Lord, 1758, did grant unto James McMechen, and others, inhabitants of the town of Newark in White Clay Creek Hundred, and the county of Newcastle, liberty, power, and authority to hold 2 fairs, to wit, on the 3rd Thursday in the month of April and October annually forever, and 1 market on the Thursday of every week, with certain other privileges therein particularly mentioned. And whereas from the increase of inhabitants in the said town, 2 markets in the week are become necessary, and whereas the said inhabitants have at all times hitherto given and paid the profits and emoluments arising from the letting of tents, booths, and stalls at the times of holding the fairs and markets in the said town, unto the trustees of Newark Academy for the public use and benefit of the said academy in the said town, and are desirous of having the same secured to the same use in the future, it is therefore prayed that it may be enacted, and be it enacted by the Honorable Richard Penn, Esquire, with His Majesty's royal approbation, Lieutenant Governor and Commander-in-Chief of the counties of Newcastle, Kent, and Sussex, upon Delaware, and Province of Pennsylvania, by and with the advice and consent of the representatives of the free men of the said counties in General Assembly met, and by the authority of the same, that from and after the publication of this act, there may and shall be 2 markets held weekly in the said town of Newark, to wit, on every Tuesday and Friday forever, and on no other day or days whatsoever. And be it further enacted by the authority aforesaid, that no person or persons whatsoever shall presume either to buy or sell any kind of provisions, fish, milk, and bread excepted, on market days, within any other part of the said town of Newark, than in the market house of the said town, under the penalty of forfeiting, both by the buyer and seller, all such provisions so sold or bought, or the value thereof, to be levied together with costs by the clerk of the market of the said town, by distress and sale of the offender's goods and chattels, by warrant under the hand and seal of any one justice of the peace of the said county of Newcastle, and to be paid to the trustees of Newark Academy for the use of the said academy. And be it further enacted by the authority aforesaid, that if any person or persons shall presume to bring or carry to the said market and sell, or offer to sale, any poor or lean meat or flesh or carrion, or any other provision or provisions not sound and wholesome, every person so offending shall forfeit the same, if too poor or lean for sale, to the use of the poor of White Clay Creek Hundred, if unwholesome or unsound, to be burnt or otherwise destroyed. And be it enacted by the authority aforesaid, that no person or persons whatsoever shall presume to slay or kill any cattle, sheep, calves, or hogs within the said academy square or market house in the said town, on penalty of forfeiting the sum of 5 shillings for every such offense, to be levied, together with costs as aforesaid, and paid to the trustees aforesaid for the use of the same academy. And be it enacted by the authority aforesaid, that if any person or persons whatsoever shall by themselves or others sell or offer to sale any butter, cheese, tallow, or any sort of provisions by any false weights, or for more weight than the same shall be found to be, on trial by the clerk of the said market for the time being, upon complaint made to him, such person or persons shall for every such offense forfeit such butter, cheese, tallow, or provisions so sold or offered to sale, and the clerk of the said market is hereby empowered and required to seize the same to be applied for the use of the poor of the said hundred. And be it enacted by the authority aforesaid, that no person or persons whatsoever shall presume to hawk or carry about the said town of Newark, or to expose to sale in the market house of the said town any flesh meat on the Monday or Thursday in each week, except in the month of June, July, and August, on pain of forfeiting such flesh meat or the value thereof, to be recovered in like manner as other forfeitures are hereinbefore directed, to be recovered by this act and paid to the trustees aforesaid for the use of the academy aforesaid. And for preventing frauds that may be committed by bakers of bread for sale in the said town of Newark, be it enacted by the authority aforesaid, that from and after the publication of this act, all and every baker and bakers of bread for sale within the said town of Newark shall and are hereby directed and required to make or impress some mark, letter, or name of such baker or bakers on all such bread as he, she, or they shall bake for sale as aforesaid, on penalty of paying for every such neglect the sum of 5 shillings to the trustees aforesaid for the use aforesaid, and to be recovered in manner aforesaid. And be it further enacted by the authority aforesaid, that the clerk of the said market is hereby strictly charged and commanded to put this act and every part thereof in execution, and empowered to demand, recover, and receive all such penalties, fines, and forfeitures as in this act are directed to be forfeited and paid, and to examine the weights and try the same for the purpose in this act before directed. And the said clerk is hereby directed and required to keep fair and just accounts of all fines, forfeitures, and penalties that he shall receive by virtue of this act, and settle such accounts once in every year with the said trustees or such person as they shall appoint, and pay to them all such sum and sums of money as shall by him be received as aforesaid, and not herein otherwise appropriated. And be it further enacted by the authority aforesaid, that the clerk of the said market, for the time being, shall have the sole and exclusive right of providing materials for, and building or setting up stalls, tents, or booths within the said town, and to hire or let the same at such reasonable rates as shall be fixed by the trustees of the Newark Academy, aforesaid in the market house or elsewhere, at the time of holding fairs in the said town, to such persons as may be willing to use or take them, and shall account for and pay to the trustees of the said academy for the use of the said academy all such sum and sums of money as he shall from time to time receive for stalls, tents, or booths, so by him set up as aforesaid. And for the preventing all uncertainty and disputes that may arise concerning or touching or concerning the limits of the said town of Newark, be it enacted by the authority aforesaid, that the lines and bounds hereinafter mentioned are and always hereafter shall be reputed, deemed, allowed, and taken to be the boundaries and limits thereof. That is to say, beginning at the junction of the public roads near an inn now known by the name of the sign of St. Patrick, and extending thence along the road leading to New London Township in Chester County, to a small stream or run, and by the same stream or run to the mouth thereof, where it empties into White Clay Creek, and from thence down the said creek to the most easterly line of the land now of Dr. Samuel Platt, and by the lines of the said Samuel Platt and of land now of James Simpson, to include the said lands within the said town to the land now of David McMetchan, and from the corner of the said James Simpson and David McMetchan, their land to the end of James Anderson's lane, and thence by a right line to the place of beginning.